Howdy guys, Camski back here for another solo video here on the channel. This is going to be the round 5, I think it's the gather round predictions, so the tips for this channel. I'm going to be giving you my tips here on the Squiggle Predictor, just stealing a play out of True Footy's playbook just while I'm here solo. We'll be back to usual broadcasting next time with our usual setup when Taylor's back. But yeah, gonna be kind of splicing in his tips as well. He's got some audio recordings that he sent me on his tips, so at least he won't be able to influence my tips this week because I'm not going to listen to them until I edit the video because I'm quite lazy and I just can't be fucked. So anyways guys, yeah, let's see how we go. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Alrighty guys, sorry about that. I don't know why, but Squiggle had me start a couple of games into the round. I don't know why. It was kind of crazy, but yeah, we'll get on to Adelaide versus Carlton, which is actually the opener of the gather round. So yeah, I'll try to like fix that up or edit it or something, I don't know. But yeah, so basically Adelaide taking on Carlton at the Adelaide Oval, man. This is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough one because Adelaide playing at home is scary. They look scary at home. Carlton, on the other hand, they always look scary. They've got Sam Walsh back this game, which is almost a reason to pick them in that regard alone, because Sam Walsh is just insane. Obviously they've got the likes of Charlie Curnow and Harry Mackay up forward, so that's really damaging as it is. So yeah, it's fucking hard, man. Like, I want to pick Adelaide, to be honest. I do want to pick Adelaide, but I think I'm gonna go Carlton by a single point. I think it's gonna be a cracker. I'd love to pick a draw. I would love to pick a draw, and I can imagine it being a draw. I'm gonna go Carlton by a single point. I think this is gonna be crazy. Let's hear what the big bad Bogan has to say.
Carlton versus Adelaide. Well, it's in Adelaide, so obviously Adelaide have that home ground advantage. It's a hard one to tip. I'm going to go Carlton by 7 points, but don't be surprised if Adelaide win.
Alrighty, Fremantle versus Gold Coast at Norwood Oval. No idea what the fuck's going to happen with this game. Gold Coast could do their usual and just upset. I don't even know if they've got a single win this year though. Fremantle, on the other hand, they are looking a little bit shaky. So to be honest, to me, this is a 50-50. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Fremantle's forward line look terrible. Gold Coast in general just look kind of like their midfield looks kind of nice. Their forward line's sorely missing Rankin, in my opinion, and just any form of firepower. I don't think Ben King's performing how he'd probably like, or so Jack Lukosius, obviously. Oh yeah, of course they won. They beat Geelong. What am I talking about? But yeah, Jack Lukosius, obviously a very, very good standout forward for this team. It's really hard. It's really hard for me to pick. I'm tempted to pick Gold Coast. I'm tempted to pick Gold Coast. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't know if Fremantle's up to the fucking challenge, man. Like, they almost lost to West Coast, who were depleted as fuck. It's a tough game. I think I'm gonna pick the upset here. I'm gonna go Gold Coast by 3 points. Yeah, I think they can do it. I think they can fucking do it. Taylor, what do you fucking think with this game, mate?
Fremantle versus Gold Coast at Norwood Oval. Another hard game to tip. At the moment, Gold Coast is playing better than Fremantle. For quite a bit too, but I'm going to tip Fremantle 13 points.
The Richmond Tigers versus the Sydney Swans at the Adelaide Oval for gather round. This one's going to be a tough one. To be honest. I think because of the whole injury kind of thing that's going on with Tom Lynch, you'd have to favour Sydney here, to be honest, because Tom Lynch is just so damaging for their forward line, and he almost fucking beat us this week. So even though what just happened to Sydney, I feel like they could honestly light like a fire, beneath them, or I don't know what the wording is underneath them. And yeah, I think Sydney is probably going to get the win here. So we're going to go Sydney by a narrow 11 points. Let's hear what the big bad Bogan has to say.
Sydney versus Richmond at, I think it was Adelaide Oval or some shit. Who cares? It's all Adelaide. ovals for some reason. Yeah, Tom Lynch is injured. Sydney's looking better than Richmond. I go Sydney, 20 points.
Thank you for that, Taylor, you silly. So let's look at the next game of the round, which is Brisbane Lions taking on North Melbourne at the Adelaide Hills. This is pretty much just going to be a one-sided affair, in my opinion. Obviously, North is showing signs this year, but it's Brisbane, man. It's Brisbane. They look ridiculous. I mean, you know, they've beaten Melbourne. And they beat Collingwood. So they've beaten two of the favourites this year. So you got to go Brisbane here. And I'm probably going to do like a safe 30 point margin. I reckon that sounds about safe, about right. Let's hear what the big bad Bogan has to say about that game.
Brisbane versus North at, I think it was Adelaide Hills or some shit. Yeah, Brisbane, 40 points.
Essendon versus Melbourne. Alrighty. This could actually be a very, very good game. Very decent game, to be honest. And there's no home team advantage here, so it could just be a, you know, massive scrap fest. Who fucking knows? Obviously, Melbourne's gone in this with the big favourites. Probably, you know, as you can see here, 30 fucking points. People are predicting them to win by. I don't know if it'll be that close. I don't know if it'll be... I don't know if it would be that much of a blowout. I think 30 points is a bit of a blowout. Essendon's looking pretty decent, but also Melbourne, you know, they just won by like 70 fucking points. So hard to say. I'm probably going to pick Melbourne though. I'm not going to pick 30 points. I do think that's just a bit excessive, a bit ridiculous. But again, I could be wrong and they win by 40 points. So who fucking knows? I'll go Melbourne by 20 points here. Big bad Bogan, what do you think, mate?
Now, this is a hard one to tip. Melbourne versus Essendon at something Adelaide related. Yeah, Melbourne's the better team at, like, just in general. But I would argue that Essendon is the better team at the moment. I'm still going to tip Melbourne, 25 points. But if Essendon win that, it would not surprise me.
This is where I want to pick Port Adelaide. I would love to pick my Dogs here in this game. And I know that I think Taylor's already told me he's going to pick the Dogs. I guess we'll find out very shortly. But I'm going to keep going with the whole strat of, even though I lose a tip here and there, I'm going to pick Port Adelaide because I think even if I lose, even if I lose in this tips here, the Dogs win, and even if I win, you know, even if the Dogs lose, I still win in terms of the tip. So, you know, we'll keep going with that. I'm going to go Port Adelaide here in a pretty close affair, even though we are usually pretty good against Port. If we remember fucking 2021, that was kind of crazy. But yeah, I think we'll go Port here by 5 points. I think that's what we're going to do. So yeah, let's do that. Taylor, what do you think for the Bulldogs Port game?
Dogs versus Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. Now, these two teams have developed quite intense games over the last couple of years, particularly in 2021. I'm going to tip the Western Bulldogs, despite obviously Port Adelaide's awesome win against Sydney, which was very impressive. But I feel like Dogs have it over Port. So I'm going to go Dogs, 20-point win.
But yeah, Geelong versus West Coast. You know, what more needs to be said, man? It's fucking Geelong. It's a depleted as fuck West Coast with all the injuries. I'm gonna have to go Geelong here by 60 fucking points, I think. Maybe 50. I know Taylor said, I'm pretty sure he said 70 points when he was talking to me earlier. I might go the cheeky 69 just for the lols. We'll go 69 if Taylor goes 70. So let's see what he has to say to that.
My boys, the Geelong Cats versus the West Coast Eagles at Adelaide Oval, I believe it was. Geelong's back to form. I don't know if it was a one-off thing, but we'll find out with my tip. I'm going to go Geelong, 70-point win. Yeah.
Thank you, Taylor. Alrighty, so we've got GWS versus Hawthorn coming up next at Norwood Oval. No idea what the fuck that is. Probably another Adelaide one, I'd assume. I have no idea. This one's kind of a 50-50 in a sense that, you know, like, Hawks can kind of perform at times and, you know, I don't know, maybe it's not a 50, maybe 60-40, but I'm still probably going to back the Giants here. Probably a very, very close margin though, maybe like 7 points, and probably Hawks will want to be, you know, hungry after their absolute smashing against Geelong. Giants probably also want a little bit of redemption after losing to Essendon. So yeah, I'll go Giants. Even though I tipped them at the start of the year to be on the bottom of the ladder, I feel like Hawks are just worse this year. So we're gonna the Giants by 7 points. Taylor, what do you think about that one?
GWS versus Hawthorn at Norwood Oval. Yeah, look, despite Hawthorn's loss, GWS isn't a great team, and obviously Hawthorn will come back hard after that game. I don't know, to be honest. Obviously, GWS have something to prove as well after that Carlton game. Yeah, I think I'm going to go GWS 6-point win.
Alrighty, thank you, Taylor. We're going to be going into the next game, which is probably going to be the game of the round. Collingwood Magpies versus St Kilda. Whew, this is kind of crazy because my heart's saying St Kilda, for not just my dad, but just because of how fun they are to watch. But in the same vein, I do enjoy watching Collingwood. They're probably my second favorite team because I'm also good mates with Tyler from this channel who frequents sometimes. And he's a Collingwood supporter, and he's kind of got me on the boat, especially after last year. So it's kind of hard. I think the ruck situation could be quite damaging for Collingwood, to be honest, because Rowan Marshall's ridiculous for St Kilda, and Collingwood don't have a fucking ruckman. So that could damage them quite a bit. But at the end of the day, I'm unfortunately going to have to pick Collingwood here because I just have too much faith in them. My brain has too much faith in them. If it was my heart picking here, I would go the Saints. I'd love to pick the Saints. I think just too many injuries, and Collingwood's clutch factor is just ridiculous. They also just lost to Brisbane, so they want to bounce back after that. So I'll go Collingwood by 10 points. 10 points. That sounds about right.
And finally, the game of the week. Collingwood versus St Kilda. Now, we haven't seen these two teams play this well since 2010. Obviously, Collingwood's been up there, but St Kilda haven't. But now St Kilda's back, and we might be in for one hell of a game. Now, logically, Collingwood's the better team. But St Kilda is hungry, and they are very, very hungry this year. And the hungrier team usually wins. So I'm going to go St Kilda, 1-point win. That sounds like an awesome game. The Big Bad Bogan signing off.
Alrighty guys, so that about wraps it up for this week's video. Really quickly, I will touch on the totals for the tips because I did forget to mention that at the start and I'm too lazy to edit it in. So yeah, basically I got 6 tips this week for a total of 22 tips. So I've slipped down to third in our personal league, which kind of sucks because of the margin, which is I'll blame Taylor for that one. And speaking of Taylor, he got 5 tips correct, and he's sitting on 19 total tips. So yeah, I think, see how we go this coming gather round. And yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed these couple of solo videos. I'm not really usually the biggest fan of doing solo venture videos, but fortunately you got to do what you got to do with these kind of things. Yeah, I'll just stretch that out, make it a little bit better. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please like if you want to, please sub if you want to, and as usual, leave your tips in the comments if you want to, and as usual, go fuck yourself.